What I'd like to discuss now is how to insert graphics and insert media into a Microsoft Publisher document. The first thing we need to do is come up to our taskbar up top and go to Insert, and we'll go to Insert Picture. And I'm just going to go down the line of the options of how to insert information, and I'm going to start with clip art. Inserting images from a clip art, from the clip art function, are basically where the user will access the pictures that are default into the Microsoft application. So the first thing we want to start out with is we will like to search for a picture of a flower. And once we click go, as you notice down the left side, there will be multiple pictures of flowers that are defaulted into the program. So we can find one that we like, and what I will do is select let's go back up to the top, and for one of the first pictures I saw here was this flower. Once we click on the flower, it will automatically transfer that image over to our publisher document. And from here, we can click, we can drag that image, we can rotate the image, and we can also expand upon the size of the image. So this allows us one way to insert an image into the publisher document is through the clip art function. I'm going to X off of here. Next, I want to go into insert a picture from file. And what it means from file is from somewhere that is part of your computer. It could either be on your desktop in your documents, or it could be attached to a jump drive or a CD. I do have a picture that's attached to that is actually a part of my desktop, and I'm going to use the same picture, the Aggie pic. And once you double click on that picture, it's automatically going to import it onto the publisher document itself, and it gives you the same options of expansion, rotation, and enlargement. So I'm going to enlarge it to put it right beside the flower. Actually, I'm going to move it to the other corner. Going back to the insert menu, going to picture, and we can do auto shapes. And these are lines, connectors, and basic shapes that are contained within your Microsoft program. So what I want to do is just show you first and foremost how they work, and they all work pretty much the same. And I will use lines to begin with. A line with an arrow. So after you click the auto shape, you get a line or you get a cross, and you have to click and drag to create the actual arrow. So what I will do is create an arrow from the flower to the Aggie pic, and I will left click and hold and drag the line all the way across, and as you see, wherever I drag it to is the original point will remain the same, and the line will just be directed to wherever I move the cursor to. And when I release the arrow, you'll notice that there is an arrow at the end of the line, and that is one way to create a line, and that line just happened to have an arrow on the end. Gonna go back to insert, and there are many different shapes. You have lines here, as we demonstrated. We have connectors, which just have endpoints on both ends, and sometimes the line doesn't have to necessarily be straight. You have your basic shapes like your circles, squares, and octagons, and those type shapes. Also, smiley faces are included. You have a different style of arrow, which is your block arrows, We can create a flow chart, which will allow you to have multiple nodes coming off of a central theme or central circle. We have stars and banners. We have callouts, which in the middle of the callout there will be a text box that will allow you to type information, much like you see on cartoons. And there are more auto shapes if you want to click on that function. So that is how your auto shapes function works. And the next function we can show you is the word art function. Word art allows you to create different words and different phrases with a different look. Often it'll have different shading within the individual letter. It will have backgrounds, maybe shadows, and it doesn't always have to be completely parallel to the bottom of your page. So I'm going to select one, the word art function here. That is, it looks like it's orange, and it is going on it is written on a plane, on an inclined plane. So I'm going to click OK, and it gives me the option of typing the text that I want to have show. So it isn't going to say the word art, but it will show in that format. And I am going to type in tutorial. And once I type in tutorial, I'm able to select the size of the font, which is defaulted 36, and I'm going to leave it there. It also gives you the option of changing the look of the font, and the default is impact, and I'm going to leave it in that font. I can make the information, once I highlight it, I can make it bold. I can make it italicized if I like, but I'm going to leave it standard and just press OK. And as you see here, it creates a word that is actually showing like a picture. So it gives us the same options as a picture that would be imported. We can actually rotate the information, set it back to normal. We can expand it by clicking and dragging on the edge. Oh, yeah, here we are. And we can expand it, even though it was defaulted at 36-point font. We can click the bottom right corner, or any of the corners for that matter, and expand upon it. We can make it larger in height, and we can also make it larger in width as well. So although it is text information, it does give us that option of making the changes as if it were a picture. So when it comes to inserting graphics and inserting pictures into a publisher document, those are going to be your basic ways of going in and doing that. And if you have a camera picture or you have something from a scanner, you can also input the information directly from one of those devices. So this would be how you would use your basic graphic art and media functions within a Microsoft Publisher document.